That's the path I took. That's the path I had to take in order for me to see this work and to really be interested in it. Because if I had seen it like a few years ago, I might have not started doing it because I was at a different point in my career or life. I might have overlooked it, but at that time I was really hungry to search for this truth in my acting and being. And I realized that everything else I tried after Susan Batson, like Jabak and Meisner before, and all these kind of things, and all the books I read, it didn't give me that. It didn't answer that question that I had. So when I finally found Demidov, it was like a hell. Wow, yeah, that's it.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi,
Great.
how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Great to meet you here on Zoom.
Yeah, same.
It's so great to eventually get a chance to talk to you as well after talking to Andrei.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for the invite.
No, it's a great pleasure. I love the whole how can you say the whole outlook you have, and I've read also on your website things you are doing, and I'm very fascinated with the Demidov acting technique as well.
Yeah, so am I.
But you were involved first in other techniques. You studied acting. Where did you study exactly?
Oh, I studied many things. I did private lessons. My way was a bit non-traditional in a sense.
Okay. Mm.
So, but I don't know. Yeah, I had lots of. Just went into acting at the age of, I don't know, 21 or something like that. And I was just doing, and then I took lessons, and then I discovered like techniques like Meisner. I did for many years. Then I went to Susan Batson. Then I went to LA to do Chabak. So there's many techniques I dipped my toes into, and I really did some of them for years. And I was kind of always looking for something that was missing in a way. And I was had the same issue with every technique until I realized that this is not the way to do things. And I stumbled upon Demidov, and I just watched some videos online, everything I could find from Andrei Malaev Babel and also from Andrei Piziorek, my teacher. And that's when I completely abandoned everything I learned before and just went into this work now.
But this is interesting that you didn't go. So you didn't go the normal route, like going to acting school, or so you delved into it and looked for something yourself.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love this. I always love, I mean, I do agree that, education is important, but I love people who take it on themselves to start learning, because I think that's a different way of learning, because it comes from you. It's not, oh, I'm there because I have to be there.
Yeah. It's not an easy way in a sense. So I really would tell people go the traditional way if you are the person for it. But for me, it didn't work out. I wasn't really into. It sounds a bit weird being told what to do, in a sense. So I looked for my own stuff.
But were you doing then before that? You said at the age of 21, but were you doing acting before that? So, I mean, would you say as a child you were interested in acting?
I was interested, but I was also living in Styria on a countryside, so it was like there was nothing, nothing to do. Or at least I wasn't looking as hard as I should have. I did some like as a 6, 8, 10-year-old, some plays with school or stuff like that. So, but it really started when I came to Vienna, And I saw a play, and they were looking for somebody, and I just applied, and they took me, and that's how it all started. So
so it had to be. It's, I mean, that's your path.
yeah.
But now, so you went to do all these different techniques. But what motivated you? I mean, so you went for you got a part in a play, but then from there on, did you realize yourself you needed some sort of education or some sort of technique to work by?
Yeah. It's good to be in the work, but it doesn't teach you all the things you need. And so I took lessons, different lessons with teachers, and I started to look for techniques as well. And it was always, at the time you go like, oh, this is amazing, and you're doing it, and then you delve into it, and then you do it, and then you realize something is missing here. And you make you stumble over the same mistakes over and over again that happen. And also there was a time where I really thought about quitting acting, because it became like very mechanical, in a sense, very technical. And I felt like I'm more like somebody bringing his tools to work and then just doing the work and then leaving again. There was nothing artistic in it anymore, nothing creative anymore in it. And I felt like you say, a Handwerker in German, and not an artist anymore. And that's when I realized I was always interested in Susan Batson at the time. She's doing method, but it's method based, you could say. And I thought like, oh, there's a workshop in Berlin, I should do that maybe. But then I looked at the money, and I had the money at the time, but it's like, I think I'm gonna quit anyway. Why do I want to waste like $1,000? And then my wife just told me, you go.
Oh, really?
You just paid for it. She was like, you go. And that kind of replenished my belief in me as an artist as well at the time. As of now, I wouldn't recommend doing it, because I think method is not a very healthy approach to the work. Also, it is Stanislavski based. And as you heard from Andre, I think he had a lot to say about that. But at the time, it really helped me to rediscover that this is an art form and I am an artist in it, and also gave me a lot of self-worth in me and my work at the time. And she has the book, it's called Truth. And that was kind of the search I was going on from that time. I was looking for truth in my acting, truth in my being also. And that's what kind of was the kickoff for that journey. Yeah.
And do you think it was important for you to do different, or to look at different techniques, or to experience different techniques before you eventually came to the Demidov technique?
It's hard to say, because when you do it for the first time, you're like, oh, damn it, I should have known this years ago, and like, why didn't I? And it feels like a waste of time. But I think you can't really look at it like that. That's the path I took. That's the path I had to take in order for me to see this work and to really be interested in it. Because if I had seen it like a few years ago, I might have not started doing it, because I was at a different point in my career or life. I might have overlooked it, but at that time I was really hungry to search for this truth in my acting and being. And I realized that everything else I tried after Susan Batson, like Jabak and Meisner before, and all these kind of things, and all the books I read, it didn't give me that. It didn't answer that question that I had. So when I finally found Demidov, it was like a hell. Wow, yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. But do you think artists and in your case, say actors, sometimes dancers or opera singers, they experience that almost that hole, you know, that they think, okay, there must be something, but then they think it's because they haven't done this role or they haven't achieved that, and that they keep on, stuck with it because they think the next role will bring it. Sorry. Or maybe a different theater or maybe a different company will bring it, but that it's actually something within.
I think there's two things to that. First of all, I think every artist had that in a sense, and it's like Jim Carrey talks about it. He had a speech about it where he was saying he's 2 times winner or 2 times of I think it was I don't know what award, and he was just dreaming about becoming a 3 times winner. And
I see, yeah.
And that would finally make him whole, although it doesn't. It's just that hole is never filled if you look at it like that. If you look at it like, okay, the next role will make me whole. Now I'm done. And you're never done as an actor or an artist. I think there's always this, and it has to be like that inner drive, that inner hole. That it sounds a bit weird. That you try to fill with all the work you do, and to fuel yourself also to go forward. And I think that's a necessity, because otherwise we would be content after, oh, now I did this play, now I can do something else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is also fine. People change their professions. They're like, okay, I've done this now for 20 years. I think I'm good now. I want to try something else. That is fine. But I think artists who are really, you could say, true artists in that sense, they never stop. There's always this search for whatever. And yeah.
But so now, how did you get or how did you came across the Demidov technique then?
I just saw a video online one day, and because you have your bubble, you have your actor friends and stuff, and then you see somebody sharing a video, and then I started reading the book, and I started to do like an online. It was the time 2021, I think it was, where COVID was still a thing and where the stuff went online. So that also was kind of a good thing in that sense, because I could do an online workshop with Andre, an introductory workshop, and because otherwise I might have not seen it, or might have not had the chance
or had
to.
the time, because people had time then.
Yeah. So, and I did that, and it just blew my mind. It was so effortless, and it was just a free flow of life. So yeah, that hooked me completely. And then I stopped reading the book because I didn't want to set myself up with the ideas of the book that then interfere with the work. So I stopped reading the book, and then I did more of the work. And then at the end, I finished the book at some point. And I have to say, although it's like something you could kill a man with, because it's just huge. It was like, I think, 1,000 pages or something like that. It's the best book I've ever read on acting. So.
Really? But you are now the founder of the Demidov school in Vienna. Am I right?
Yes, I'm co-founder with Andre.
Oh, co-founder.
Yeah. When I met him, he was in London, and then I brought him over to Vienna to do a workshop, and then another one, and then another one. And at some point, he was in Vienna for so long, and he started to love the city. And for other reasons. So we decided together, he decided that he wants to come to Vienna and to open up a studio here and to live here. And after a lengthy process of a visa, we finally got it.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem now with the UK.
Yes.
But so what are you offering? I mean, what can, so do you mainly work with actors, or are there other fields that you also think that people can be helped with, or that could benefit from the Demidov technique?
It is mainly aimed towards actors, because it is an acting technique at all, and it should be used. But I think you can use it in any creative endeavor as well. It's more of the mindset and all the philosophy behind it. But the intensives and the longer courses we offer, they are aimed at actors, because at the end of the day, we want the actors to be able to use it and to use it in the work. But it doesn't mean that it's not cannot be used by other creatives, in a sense.
Yeah, because I was just last week speaking to a opera singer who is also an actor. Well, he did both, he did acting and then also opera singing. And we were talking about the differences, but also the, things that you really, because in opera singing, it is a way of, you have to act as well, So, so then after that, I was actually wondering if, and because I knew I was going to speak to you, I was wondering if, opera singers, for example, would also benefit from this.
It depends on what you want, I think, and also the industry is a bit different. Mm-hmm. My wife is into operas, and she's working for the television. They do a lot of work with operas and recording them, and so I see I see the acting. Yeah, because of her work, and it's just very much different. I would say yes, you can, but the restrictions are different. It's also in theater. You have different types of theater that demand different types of acting, in a sense, or some are very restraining. And yes, you can still use it and benefit from it, because it's more about the inner life and the freedom of your inner life. So, but I think the way, with the little knowledge I have about opera, is what I see in there is that they are very much restrained in their acting, because everything has to be on point, everything has to happen at a certain level. And it's the main focus is on the opera itself and not on the acting. So, but I think they definitely can if they want to. It's just not as beneficial, because the focus is not on the acting in opera that much. Singing, of course. So if somebody will want to do some work on their acting as an opera singer, yes, definitely this can help and work. It's just a matter of is it beneficial for them, in a sense of does anybody care who goes to see an opera?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's a tiny thing, and if you, it's like what's the name? There's an opera singer, and she's really good also as an actress, and you can see it. You can see the difference. It's not just that she's amazing the way she sings, but also you can see that in her acting there is some truth happening. There's life happening, and then you also see the difference to the other opera singers, where there is just technically being here and being there and looking like this and having this face. So yes, I say if you can, yeah, of course, do it. It enriches the whole experience for the audience as well.
Mm-hmm. So now, in your studio here in Vienna, who are the students that come, or who are the actors that come to you?
All different kinds of actors. Many who also had the same issue that I had, like looking for something that's missing in their acting, in their craft, in their experience, in their being as an actor. So they already had a career, or like are in it, are working actors. And others who are new, who just either finished an acting school or are finishing an acting school, or are totally new to acting. And some really seasoned actors as well, who are in their 50s and 60s. So yeah, it's really from left to right.
So it's also people, like you say, who were looking, or who are looking, like you, to find that thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
But wonderful, yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's also because the industry we are in is very restraining in a sense, and we're looking for freedom as well in our art and in our acting. And a lot of techniques we learn are the opposite of that. They all pray that you have to first do all the work consciously. You have to choose what to do. You have to map it all out. You have to do your beats and actions. You have to do your scene objectives. You have to do all of that sort of work. And then at some point, maybe you get some freedom in your acting, but at that point, it's, sorry for the language, it's fucked. You are fucked. Because it's almost never going to happen unless you can really ditch all of that afterwards and trust that whatever is happening. But then why start with that in the first place? So that's also the thing that Demidov is reversing that. It's starting with that kind of freedom from the get-go.
Yeah, but how easy is it for somebody who's been in acting for, say, 20 years now to adapt to this new technique?
Sometimes it's more beneficial if you know nothing about acting and you go into it, yes, because you have habits. You have a lot of habits you learn, and that have to be undone by the work. I don't think it's very hard. It depends on how good you are at letting that go and to be open to that new thing that's coming. But there's a lot of automatisms in ourselves if we do it for 20 years in a certain way, and it takes a while to undo that. Yeah.
But the question is also why is this technique not being taught in drama schools?
Well, first of all, it's quite recent, although it's super old, because Demidov was one of the first teachers of the Stanislavski system. But because of the history of that, because it is so opposite to his works, the disciples of Stanislavski, they just buried it, and it was only rediscovered in 2009 when my teacher's teacher, Andrei Malayev-Babel, found it in the archives of the Moscow Art Theater and translated it into English and started teaching it. And he had like 2 former students of Demidov, and they were coming to see his work, and they were saying like, "Oh, this is exactly like it was back in the day with Demidov itself." So it took a while, and then it takes a while to find people who are interested in that, and it takes a while to find people who want to teach it and who are good at it. Because at the moment, there's only 4 people worldwide who can teach it.
Really?
So it's also because they want it to grow organically. They don't want to push it too hard, because you can see that with different techniques, like I had with the Meissner technique, for example. You have people who do one workshop with some Meissner teacher, then they're like, "Oh, this is easy," and they just start teaching it. And you really need to get the whole picture of a technique in order to teach it, and also you need to be a pedagogue in a sense. And lots of actors who are teaching are also about ego a lot. You can see that, and it's not very helpful to be a good teacher when it's more about you at the end of the day as a teacher. So there's lots of things happening who kind of give a technique a bad reputation also, because you can't really do anything about it. If somebody just picks up the book and wants to teach it, they could. That's also why we are trying to tell people, hey, if you really want to learn this technique, you have to go to one of those 4 teachers who can actually teach it, because they've done it for years. You have to do it as an actor first before you become a teacher in it. You can't just do a weekend workshop and become a teacher. Okay. And that is, in one sense, to protect the technique, but also to protect the actors from bad teaching, in a sense, or that they get the wrong idea about it. Because it seems easy on a surface level, but you really have to understand the whole body of it to be able to teach it. And you can do a lot of harm in acting teaching as well. And it needs people who really know what they're doing. And yeah, that's one of the reasons it's not well known. And the other reason is that it's just a different universe. It's like you can't mix it with the other acting techniques, because what's usually happening is in acting schools and stuff, you just add it. They have a new technique and they just add it to their curriculum. It's just an add-on. And with this technique, because it is completely opposite of all the Stanislavski universe, it's kind of saying politely, this is bullshit. we cannot mix it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Because one says, I can think of everything beforehand, and I can teach it in bits and pieces. And the other one says, no, it's a holistical approach, and we need to start from a different side. So it doesn't mix, and it's quite recent in a sense for a new technique, and that's why it's not very widely known or adapted at this point.
But am I right in thinking it's very free? So it's very much something that you have to feel rather than, that you have to experience rather than really there's a structure.
Well, there is also structure in a sense, because we get usually the text as an actor, so that's a given. There's lots of given things. But the truth is, the more that's given about the circumstances, about the character and the text, it becomes easier at the end of the day. But you have to train. That's why we start with tiny bits of text, like Andre was, I think, telling you, these etudes. And it really starts, for me as an actor, it was like, I can let go of all premeditation. I can just experience the moment. And it sounds easy, but it takes a while to train because we are not used to that. We're used to having a plan, having it mapped out, knowing exactly what's going to happen, seeing who you're talking to and everything. And when you start from the other side where you know nothing at the beginning and you let that life happen on its own, you're really training your subconscious to take over where creativity happens. And it is also kind of frightening in a sense at the beginning because you let go of the wheel. You say, hey, you can let the subconscious do the driving. And that takes a lot of courage and trust. And that courage and trust also needs to be trained and needs to be cultivated. And that takes some time and training, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking now when you said that you have to really then also learn to trust yourself or your intuition of how you react then.
Say again?
I say you have to really trust yourself and trust your intuition when you have this experience then to know that it's the right thing, because I think we're sometimes so used to doing everything by certain standards or by the book that if you have to trust yourself to do something, then you really have to have the confidence to say, okay, this is it. This is my feeling. This is how I do it. Yeah,
exactly. And it happens so quickly that when the head comes in, it's already gone. So if you start second guessing yourself, you're already out of it. So we also need to train that trust and that confidence to say whatever is happening, and I'm fine with that. And it will go its way.
And can you see, or have you spoken to actors who did the course that they can really see the change in their acting? How soon can they see the change then?
It's usually it's on the first day that they can feel the change, because it's that powerful in a sense. And they see it in other actors as well, because we do start in the circle at the beginning, and you can see it happening for everyone. And it's quite, I don't want to, I'm not trying to sell anything, but it took me by surprise when I experienced it for the first time, that it worked for everybody. And I've seen actors who I've known for many years go to depths, and also just their acting, how it improved. And it's really amazing to see how everybody, how it works for everybody. If you're willing to, if you are
Oh yeah.
really going there, yeah, you're not blocking it.
Yeah, I mean, I can assume some people might also be a bit skeptical. So it depends on with what attitude you're going.
Yeah, and there's lots of different things happening also with coaching. So I get it. I'm a skeptical person.
Okay.
Yeah, also, and we always say in a Demidov fashion, just do it and then you'll see. So practice before theory, and it's the best way to just give it a try and to see if it's something for you, because it's not for everybody. It's like everything in life, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also doing other things. I mean, I read that you are also a project manager. So what does that entail?
Well, I used to do my own projects back in the day. And I was going to Sweden a lot and to London and other countries to show my own work. And you kind of have to start doing that kind of work to get your work seen, which is sometimes a pain in the ass, because you're like, I want to focus more on the creative part of the work, but then you have to invest a lot of time in getting funding, applying to festivals, doing all the work behind. And I've always been I've always wanted to do stuff on my own, also in the organizational space. So it was always learning by doing, and at some point you just grow into it. You do calculations, you do applications, you do funding. So I started to do all those kind of things. I also studied a little bit communication science, and that point that came into hand, and yeah, so.
But it's interesting that you say that that you've been doing that for a while, because I've spoken to the dean of the business school, and we talked about the fact that some artists feel that they're not good business people, and why is that? Because business is actually a form of art, if you think of it. And he said, but it's because doing business and that side of things also takes practice, just the same as doing an art form takes practice and takes years and takes time. And what I'm getting from you basically is you just started doing it and learning from it and learning by doing.
Yeah, I like that. I like when I don't know something, to just try it and learn it. Also, like I have to design a homepage. I don't know what to do, and then you just do it bit by bit, and you just learn how to do it. And you're not perfect. You're not like an industry professional, but it's sufficient for what you want to do. And it's kind of this project managing side as well. And yeah, lots of actors don't know much about the business part, the money side, and I think also because we don't really want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interest also, because I think it's after I've spoken to him, I thought about also my brother. He's always been interested in business, but he thinks also differently, but he's been, as a young child, he's been interested in business, whereas I am totally not. So yeah, I think it is definitely about interest. And you say, and you doing tour organization as well. Does that come with the project management then?
Yeah. It's just trying to get your work seen as widely as possible. You have to start organizing all of that. So I did tours for different projects, not only mine, but also where I was involved as an actor, in Austria and to Czech Republic, to London, to Sweden, and
okay. So then you take say a drama piece and tour to different countries.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and it is a bit of a pain in the ass always with the funding, because you have to get the money together, and it's it's hard, and then you don't really know how many tickets you sell, because that's
Yeah.
always a gamble. You don't know how many people are coming. So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of pain and fear.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of the day, it's always worth it.
Mm. And I
Yeah.
assume every time you do it, you learn something that you can apply for the next time.
Yes, you make lots of mistakes. And you learn from those, hopefully. Yeah.
But that's amazing that you do that, because you sort of are all-rounder in the sense that you whatever, like you say, whatever you want to learn, you just apply yourself. So you're a self-learner, really.
Yeah. I mean, I have a diploma in acting, so you can get that at some point.
Yeah.
But yes, mostly I do like self-learning. We are in an age now where you can just go on YouTube and find so many stuff and so much information that you can use, and then I mean, the workshops also on the side, whatever you can, but there's so much information out there nowadays, which is amazing.
Seth Godin, he's a marketer in America, and he said 20 and 30 years ago, we had excuses because there were only libraries, but now we don't have any excuses because we've got Google and we've got all this information available. So, yeah, true. If you want to know something, you can really find the information.
Yeah.
Mm. But Thomas, tell me, what are the wishes for you for the future? Where would you like to see also the Demidov studio go in Vienna?
For me, the reason I wanted to, or I was so stoked about Andre choosing to come to Vienna is, well, first of all, my own struggles as an actor, and to find this and to be like really happy to be able to do it now, and also because I have lots of friends in acting as well, because over the years, to let everyone who has who wants to do it so they have the chance to experience this work. So that was my main goal, to get it to as many people as possible who want to do it. Because I mean, for me, I think it's how we should teach acting. And I don't want to shit on any other technique and every other teacher, but for me personally, I think this is how we should approach acting and how we should teach acting. So my wish for the future is that this work gets more widely known, so more people have the chance to do it, to experience it, to see if it's for them also. And yeah, for me personally, to just go deeper into the work and help it grow, and see that it doesn't disappear again like it did back in the day.
Yeah. Mm. So it's a long process. It's not, so workshops can be done not just once, but people can always come back and experience more of it.
Yeah, we do have longer courses now, like the one it's a 6-month course, but over the span of 8 months, which is a bit confusing. But where you meet twice a week and you do the work. It's a small group of 8 people, and you work for 3 hours per day. And you can, I'm also doing that as a participant for this one. So it's about to finish now in August. And it really gives you the chance to work on it and keep working on it over that period of time. Because sometimes a workshop is like, you do it for 2 days and then it's done and you're like, okay, what am I going to do now? Now that I'm hooked. Yeah. So we're trying to, there's going to be longer courses coming now, but it takes a while to implement them and to do that.
But I wish you really much success with this technique. I absolutely love the idea. I mean, I don't know exactly, I haven't experienced it, but by talking to you and talking to Andre as well. I think this is so amazing. I do applaud you for your way of learning and doing things yourself, because I think there are many people in the world who think you have to do it a certain way, and I'm always so happy when I speak to somebody who just goes out and learns and find the information. And like you say, you have a diploma or you can have a degree, but you can still continue learning yourself, and experiencing things yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
But thank you so much for your time, Thomas.
Thank you too.